Thank you, Ravi. We have enough tea on the table. The floor is now open. Please identify yourself when you ask a question. And if you start with a particular panelist, specify all of this. Open for any panelist. Dr.
Thank you. My name is Iftikhar Chaudhary from Bangladesh. I was originally a Bangladeshi diplomat. I received very great interest in all the four excellent presentations. My question is on what used to be called, or still is called, the parallel cinema. When, as a Bangladeshi or a Pakistani in another state, we were not exposed to Indian movies. When we were, the most attractive thing about the Indian cinema was the parallel cinema, which began in Bengal. It was influenced by neorealism. I assume of the Italians. Vittorio De Sica had a very important, was an important emulate. The most famous example was probably the Apu trilogy. I think Vinal Now, the future of parallel cinema, I mean, this is what the question is about. Some of you have sort of peripherally touched upon it. The speaker only talked about Sanskrit. Basically, the thrust of the parallel cinema, to my understanding, was it reflected neorealism and the fact that it reflected the socio-political matrix on which these events have taken place. It was different from the mainstream Hindi cinema in the sense that it rejected the song and dance peoples, etc., and had a major story to tell. It was not confined to Bengal because Nicha, Nagar, and those films, even Vyasai to the large extent. So, what is the future of parallel cinema in India? For that, we need the nod of the king, I mean, the state. For example, should the state come in, support this? We don't have the kind of art houses as we have in the West, created for these type of films. So is there a future for parallel movies and parallel cinema in India? And how do you think it could gain resurgence? So this is a question addressed to all or one of the panelists.
I'll say a few words, and again, I wish Ashish to elaborate on that. Parallel cinema, once again, I felt there was a time when there was films being made like commercial films and parallel films or art house films. My question to you, counter question to you is, what would you call a film like Bhumiga in Bhagavan, which has broken all records of the then Bangla film industry? You cannot term it as parallel cinema, but at the same time, commercially, it had done great job. See, the scenario in Indian filmmaking has changed a lot. If I talk about it perspective of Bangla cinema, then there were Gautam Ghosh's and Aparna Sen's, and I'm talking about after post Satyajit Ritik and Mridal Sen era. These were the only people who were making films. Out of the 42 films that were being made, in a year, there would be one Aparna Sen film or one Gautam Ghosh film, which would have been termed as parallels. I suppose this whole thing changed, and this change should be dedicated and should be accredited to none other than Maniratnam. He is a person who have actually changed the concept of just parallel cinema to film which would, realistic cinema which would appeal to audience and also thrive commercially. In Mumbai, there were films like Maqbool being made, Til Haidar, what would you call a film like Chakde India or Rang De Basanti or any of these Amir Khan films or the various kind of films that has been happening? What would you call a film like Lunchbox, which stars one of the most popular actors in Indian cinema right now, Irfan Khan, and getting accolades all across the world? Now, this kind of cinema have actually started being noticed much more than before. After a Pather Pachali was done and the first release was happened in Kolkata, it was a box office flop. Pather Pachali had to go out, win an award, come back and then re-release and then get noticed. So right now the kind of cinema, the filmmaking or cinema viewing, that whole thing has changed. And I would be very happy to say that a film like Happy New Year in Kolkata, right now, a meaningless film, I would say. I'm not trying to degrade or be any disrespectful to Farah or anyone. But the thing is, a kind of meaningless cinema or absolutely cinema that is termed as commercial cinema. Right now in multiplexes, which has been a boon, which has actually been a boon to cinema viewing all across. In a multiplex, that would get about, say, 30–40% viewing, when a film like Gunohash is doing, Chotushko, another Srijit Mukherjee film, which has just come out, which you might term as parallel cinema, but what we are talking about is realistic, entertaining cinema, realistic cinema. So this kind of cinema is doing full houses. But the fact remains, a Happy New Year with 8,000 hall release all across the country would sweep up 40 crores in one day. The opening day for this thing was 42 crores for Happy New Year. And for a Bengali film, or a Marathi film, we know that the budget is just about 1.5 crores, or say 2.5 crores, would whip up how much on a first day? Not even 40 lakhs. That is the thing. But the concept of parallel cinema has changed into more realistic cinema, and we are very happy that the audience, Indian audience, by and large, have started accepting more meaningful cinema, more urban cinema, and that is working. This has to be taken across. This has to be popularized. Then, of course, commercially, more viableness of such projects would bring. Ashish, what do you say?
So, one very interesting part, which is inherent in the question itself, is that parallel cinema, the term, as far as India is concerned, was coined in a time when we are completely inundated by a different kind of cinema. Multiplex has played a huge part that a specific audience film started getting made. Another very interesting thing happened. A whole lot of filmmakers were making films which was for their drawing rooms, just their heads. So that stopped. People got that we need to tell, as Ravi very beautifully said, we need to make films which reach people. It was like a contagion kind of thing. People really got that if I just make films for myself, it's just nothing. A very interesting mix. See, commercial is a very bad word, but an interesting mix, what again Ravi referred to, is that people started telling stories in a way that people like to hear. Okay? And for that, Haider is an amazing example, and I'll share that with you, made by a very dear friend of mine. He has broken the rules of what we would understand as acceptable pace in a film. there's a certain way that even say a good film, okay, थोड़ा pace कर, just increase the pace a bit, increase the tempo. He has actually told the tale the way he wants to tell the tale. He has held shots the way he wants to hold the shots. There are no tuck, 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 tuck. There are no shortcuts being used. Hats off to the Indian audience. Hats off again to a very, very interesting thing. It's like, it's I being a student of history, I have amazing respect and value for democracy. Democracy in India has made sure that debate exists. Okay? Now, as debate exists, now it can be in extreme forms, but when debate exists, people have started going to cinemas ready to disagree with films. So people go and watch a film, and then they want to disagree, but they go and watch that film, and they talk about it. That is a huge boon as far as, our polity is such that we are picking up, the films that he's talking of, are probably, they're dated. But then when those dated things are brought into the milieu, present day milieu, a new dynamic gets created. For example, later this evening at 9, we have the screening of a film, Deswa, which is in Bhojpuri. Our director, Nitin, is right here with us. Something very interesting about it. Now, Bhojpuri films are things that people would like to disown. Because they talk of sex, they talk of imagery, they talk of, and they reinforce certain stereotypes that we may have of people from there. As if everybody from there laughs at such jokes. As if everybody wants to, must have a sexual innuendo to things. Okay? You're talking about an entire culture. Suddenly we have somebody like Nitin and his sister who decides to make a film which is right now not acceptable. But still they put forth something. It's been a year now, but still it's being talked of. Somebody's talking about it. Somebody's saying, hey, listen, come on, why don't we have a debate? Let's what's wrong with such films? Why can't we make such more films? Alright? Now, as such things happen, the parallel, what existed as a parallel, a distant parallel, at some point has started converging. So we have had amazing films which made social sense and which the audiences have loved, and we have got films which have not made any sense and they've made a lot of money. So it is, both are alive, both are kicking. A film like Haider, which has been made at 24 crores, has made double its money in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and a film like Happy New Year, which is made at lots more crores, will also make double its money. So I'm saying it's a place where anekta mein vividta, harek ke liye jagah hai, and there will be some people who will be standing out with their neck out. Somebody like Nitin, because his film has not gotten that kind of the kind of bumper openings, and it's not become a raging hit. But that step is valid because he's one person who dared. It's that line from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when he says, "At least I tried." So I have deep respect, and like all of us have, of people who have trudged that path, not sure that they will get success, but at least they have opened, at least put in their foot, opened a wedge, somehow for others to get it. But I definitely see a convergence rather than a completely, different identity remaining. Yeah.
Is that rightly expected? Say like now in Marathi, it's a movie called Find Me releasing Jan. In fact, Feb 30th. Won national award, so he's now just winning at Golden Globe now. He's winning.
Yeah.
And it's a super good film.
did fantastically more than NCR business. The film made in 80 languages. And the other movie now running fourth week successfully is a movie called Prakash Amte, which is a biography.
Yes.
And again, no song, nothing. So amazing film. It's a biography of a socialist. Which now till today is cost 20 CR. So now what happened? Thanks to film festivals, thanks to social media, thanks to new channels, the new generation audience are open to all these things. Earlier that was not the case. Earlier was the audience are very close. Earlier newspaper थी और दूरदर्शन था. But because of the all other different kind of medium, people know what's happening in the world. मुझे याद है मैं बचपन में छाया इंग्लिश गाने के खाली दिन में एक ही सॉन्ग एक ही का प्रोग्राम था 7:30 को एक प्रोग्राम आता था इंग्लिश गानों का वही एक था कुछ इंटरनेशनल एक सोलो का खाली वही था वही कुछ नहीं था इफ यू वांट टू रीड समथिंग और गो टू लाइब्रेरी सर्च फॉर दैट बुक लेके आके अभी एवरीथिंग इज ओपन फॉर सो नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड नाउ ऑडियंस इज बिकम एजुकेटेड एंड दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट नाउ दे आर एजुकेटेड नाउ दे वांट टू सी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स now they are not only just a sake of recommendation. Okay, oh, this film is good or this film is bad. Or I want to experience. I want to see it. And now what happened that all these movies we're talking about, Lunchbox or say Family, all the beautiful movies, those movies are part of my life. मेरी जिंदगी में कुछ हुआ है life. That's why I'm connected to those movies. So I think when the Hyder released, there's a very big indie movie at the same time. Bang. It's a huge, big commercial movie. Hrithik Roshan, big budgets, and Hyder released with them. I know Hyder was doing. It was like everybody talking on Hyder on social media. I want to see this film. I want to see this film. So Bang was gone. Absolutely gone with him. There was no discussion about the film.
But Bang was making money.
Yeah.
Bang was making money. But the film you were talking about was
Hyder. Everybody was.
And Hyder was also making money. That's the best part.
Hyder was also.
That's
So
the
what
best
happened?
part.
The audience, and that's why the multiplex come. Even the, as you say, India is one of the youngest country. The maximum audience we have is 14 years to like 22, 24 years. Those audience, they have their own point of view. They're not going to listen to anybody. They're going to just see what's the film, is the film connect to me. That's how they're going to watch the film. And I think this new generation of audience, the new kind of medium they're exposed to, I think the audience is more mature. So I was
Next question.
When you make these regional films that are in specific languages and you appeal to an international audience, are you appealing specifically to an Indian diaspora, so say Tamils living overseas for Tamil films and so on? Or are you really appealing to an general international audience? And if it is the latter, how do these films that are based on realism, how do they translate actually to an international audience?
See, from the marketing point of view, the prime audience is the audience which speaks the language. That's the prime one. But that doesn't stop there. All these are dubbed. All these are subtitled. And ultimately, if the film is good, it reaches the other language audiences also. Say, for example, in recent times, when Darpan started the Bengali film and then they started releasing films out there also in Singapore, we did a film from Reliance called Jatishwar. It's called The Reincarnate. It's a musical film. It's got 23 songs in that film. Jatishwar, initially when she took the distribution and she told us that, okay, fine, we will put up a weekend show, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one show. The advance booking started about a week back. The response was so phenomenal that I think Golden Village they they put 2 shows in a week, all days of the 7 days of the week, and not only that, it finally ran into 3 weeks without shows. And I've seen on the social media, not only Bengalis, there have been Punjabis, there have been Sindhis, there's some Chinese also who have watched that film out there, and they have been commenting on it. But the prime, yes, see, because marketing of a film, particularly film of not of national language like Hindi, which has got a huge marketing budget because we can afford that. For other languages, the budget is not there to do a proper publicity of the film like we would like to do. So primarily it is targeted to the diaspora which speaks that language. But ultimately it goes on, and it's a good film, there's no stopping it.
And if I may add just a few lines to what you said, aesthetically, if you are watching this film, say a Wonker Wai film, or a Majid Majidi film, or a Zafar Panahi film, whoever, or a Kinkiduk film, it would be so much to Kinkiduk's country, it would be so much to their way of living, their culture. But the language of cinema, something that fascinates all of us is that what makes it international is that you can actually, yes, that's exactly what Ashish started off that is how you know, appeal, you get to appeal to larger section of it may not be that the film which you are watching, the language of the film may not be the language you are speaking, but somewhere you connect. There was a film called Separation which almost shook all across all film lovers. It's a film. It's an Iranian film. It's an Iranian film about divorce, and on what pretext? A husband and wife wants to separate themselves just because the wife feels that the son, their child, which they're bringing up, will not be safe in the country they are staying. In the very first 5 minutes of the film, the whole diaspora of the country, its political situation, everything is explained. Somewhere we also connect, perhaps. We have also had divisions. We've had India, Pakistan, we've had Bangladesh, India. We've also had our partitions. So somewhere we connect. So that is, aesthetically, that is where a film transcends perhaps. Ravi?
आज भी मुझे कुछ कोई चीज़ लगती है ट्रेड से मैं काटता हूँ तो टूटता है उतना ही यूएसए का अपना सामने टूटता होगा उसके लैंग्वेज आई थिंक कुछ नहीं होगा सबको सेम ही है इश्यूज सबके अभी भी वही है एंड सबके बालों में डैंड्रफ होते हैं वहाँ भी आई थिंक योर स्टोरी हैज टू बी यूनिवर्सल बिकॉज वी आर ऑल ह्यूमन एंड नाउ because of all other mediums you are coming closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And so that's why this should happen in Singapore in Disney Plus. Because it was impossible, we are talking about vision cinema on Indian cinema is something which is unbelievable. So I think we are coming very close now. Everybody's emotions are exactly the same. So when you are writing a story, you write for yourself.
Yeah.
So if that is touching me and if that touching me, my heart would definitely, all human beings will go through that absolutely. So that's why while Madhuri film, even all these small stories like ये मेरा बेटा दिखता है वहाँ पर मुझे उसके language in fact some films are beyond subtitles. That's what happening now. That's what that can be a new film which will be coming in next 2-3 years. There will be no subtitles. Like artist film, there is no language. In all of those the other films, what kind of language the artist will have? So now I think when you're doing a cinema for festival, I think you should do film for yourself. And I am similar. There is a story of the Latur boy from Maharashtra, which is very similar to some village in Switzerland. So it's exactly the same story from. They're going through the same things. Only the geography different. Everything is same.
we are from this Institute of South Asian Studies. M.G. Ramachandran from the Tamil movie world and N.T. Ramarao from the Telugu film world, they became political leaders. N.T. Ramarao even played a national political role in the formation of the first ever coalition. I don't want to mention Jayalalitha today. Why is it that the other language films are not political leaders? Is there any particular reason? Is there a cultural attribute to this? Thank you.
No, it's not.
It's actually not.
We recently, very recently in Bengal, the top, one of the top selected heroes, there are two today. The guy who's the topmost commercial hero, guy who's 34-year-old, has become a member of the parliament.
No, I was on the
I think the question is
much
not
higher
level
level.
of.
So
they are into politics. It's not that they
yeah,
are.
yeah, I probably get your answer. So one thing is very interesting is that this is to do with the consciousness, and somehow, as initially itself it was mentioned, when cinema or anything it becomes very close to religion. You know why we say cinema is a religion? Because religion is something which encompasses a whole lot of people. In South, that there is a euphoria around cinema. There is no debate. There is no question. There is allegiance. And in a way, that has overridden many other things. There have been no questions. More often than not, all over India, and I'm very happy about it, we have debate rather than just, it's not been just like, oh, I'm a die-hard supporter, and like you go and burn yourself for somebody. It remains fine. So, and it is also, I think, something to do with how we relate to film. So just as we would want our films to be doing amazingly well, still, people in different parts of India relate to film stars. They can relate to film stars outside of their own. So they might be giving them, they might have a standing. They might be selling great things through advertisements, or they might even be winning awards. But outside of South, the film star holding a sway and becoming so great a political thing, it has not happened for a very long time since then. Even though South has thrown up amazing megastars, they have again not won the kind of votes and that kind. They have not catapulted to that thing. It's something to do again with education, how it's come back. And I again harp back to that thing called democracy. Debate has been such a, it's at the crucible of a whole lot of things that happen in India. Arnab Goswami is, people, he's the most, people love to hate him. But what he makes money out of is actually creating a debate. And that debate, people see through people. People see through it. Even when they're abusing somebody, they see through things. That has happened, and therefore, I'm very happy, even though I'm part of the film fraternity, we remain while making films. We may sell products. We may even become a member of parliament. But as far as the largeness is concerned, the people choose, okay, this is a leader for me, because the issues that person, that lady, that gentleman is talking about are going to matter to me. So I think the education, the growing education, is making sure that people are not getting completely swayed by that. So I mean that's my take on that.
It's also mythological character they play also. That's very important, because what happened, people normally think they are God, and so the big leader, they play lots of bigger mythological character like Tivama was Krishna. So I think that phase will be going very fast.
There's still revolution in Bengal and in Bangladesh, I believe.
Well, it does happen. I mean, Bengal saying that, but in South it is too strong, because South the heroes are almost worshipped as a god. Today, if Rajinikanth stands in an election, everybody knows what the fate of his opponent candidate. Because Rajinikanth is a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's so there, as I have also said that in the southern languages, for them, their cinemas are a must watch. They still go to the theaters to watch it. Film of a Rajinikanth, the guys would be standing in the queue from the last night, midnight, to buy advance tickets. So that's the kind of craze in this incident.
It's like Tim Cook becoming the president of the US.
But your question actually can lead to a more interesting thing about cinema and politics. You see, we were talking about parallel cinema. That was when a lot of political statements used to be made in cinema. And right now, I am finding that we aren't, as Indians per se, we aren't being able to speak freely through our cinema about politics. I wouldn't say a film like Rajniti, a political film. Yeah. So, when I think about a political film, the last political film that has ever happened in Kolkata might be a Mrinal Sen Kolkata Ekanto, Kolkata Cinema. Why aren't we able to speak our minds out, however much we are trying to make our own movies, is something that needs to be debated, because cinema, politics, culture, sociology and economics, these are the things which are so closely held. It's all about life.
Yeah, so maybe we can just have the final round of questions together since we're running out of
Hi, my name is Tanishta. My question to Ravi sir. Hi. Coming out of the regional factor here, my question is,
So just speak.
You can speak up.
I can speak louder.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, being an independent filmmaker, the challenges has always been there. That's everybody that is everybody know. But 10 years back and now, when the films like Sheep of Thesis are coming out, and then there are other parallel independent films which are doing good. But at the same time, the movies couldn't release in India before. They had to take a turn, as rightly mentioned earlier. They had to win award, come back to India and re-release. So, what do you think exactly are the challenges even today the independent filmmakers are facing?
Could we just take the last round of questions together?
See, when I was growing up in Calcutta, this was like 90s, most of the films, talking about Bengali films in particular, wouldn't run for many weeks in the halls, and some of us were told that, or some people from the film industry would tell us that they are doing very well in the rural areas. I don't know whether that is correct or not. Assuming that that was correct, the statement that they had made at that time, I like the new variety of Bengali films a lot. So my question is, are these connecting to the rural audiences as well? And if not, are we only making films for the multiplex because their market is better? Just your comments on that.
Just the last comment on the previous example from Canada's the advertising of origins. I just wanted some insights on how the industry is leveraging digital channels such as mobile and internet to get further than just the infrastructure of a cinema, because obviously that's how cinema is put itself out into international scale. How is that being managed?
Could I have one final question? Is there any role for the NFDC?
It is.
Yes.
So,
First.
Yeah, like,
I think these two questions are quite closely related, even more regarding commercial exploitation of intellectual property. Yes, digital platform is gaining importance, but the commercial revenue from that part is still very negligible. But yes, you cannot ignore it because that's the future. It will grow as soon as the infrastructures grow parallelly. So your connectivity also has to be good. If you want to enjoy a film on your mobile by paying it, then your connectivity of downloading it also has to be good. So as and when the infrastructure grows, these things will definitely go on. They will slowly be a strong medium of commercial exploitation. About a couple of back, we never had a thing called an airborne right. Today we have airborne right. You watch films on the flights, international or a domestic flight. They purchase it. They buy the idea of that. So these things will definitely open as and when the infrastructure grows. So coming to your question of releasing independent filmmakers, I don't see there's a problem per se. It's all about more of a mental block. See, as and when we have been discussing, that it's not the language, it's the content. If the content is good, if the content appeals to all, then nobody can stop that film becoming a successful. Commercially or critically acclaimed is a different point, but it will be a good cinema. And there is no stopping releasing of a good cinema. Nobody does. Even the exhibitors today are hungry of getting good cinemas. They want a crowd, they want people to come and watch cinemas in the theater. So it's not that, it's just about getting probably the right channel.
There actually was a time when some of the excellent filmmakers used to actually carry scripts from one place to the another, and they didn't have any takers. The scenario in India has changed like anything, and it's really
there are so many studios today. You have Fox there, you have Disney UTV, you have Reliance here. So, and all of us, all the studios, we make both the kind of films. It's not that we only make commercially viable films, or we need to make World Wonders. Yes, we do. We do Single. We did Dawn 2. We did Bodyguard. Commercially huge film. But so did we did Park. So did we do films which we got, in 7 years we have 25 national awards to our game. So that speaks of the kind of critically acclaimed film that we do. At the same time we have revenue because it has to be a balance. Not all critically acclaimed films will become a commercially successful. Not necessarily. Some might become, some might not. But at the same time, to support them, to do those kind of films, I mean, get assured money. Bang Bang may not be anywhere close to Hyder. Definitely not. But Bang Bang takes away kitty of 250 crore in a span of 2 weeks. Hyder will take a long time. Hyder won't reach that.
But it will make the money. It will make the money that makes the money. Yeah, very sure.
Vishal always has been saying that my film, I do not make films for producers to make money. I make films because that's how the film I like to do it. So he's got a point.
But another interesting thing in this, and I think I get the thrust of your. See, first of all, that film has been made with the budget in mind.
Yeah.
So it's been made at 24 crores. Okay? So it has recovered its money. So now, one thing which I think there's been a sea change, again mentioned, and actually Ravi put it forth in a very different way, but it makes sense. You know, even for the filmmaker or even the writer, I want to just make a different film. I want to tell my story. He or she has become responsible now. You want to tell your story, please tell it to 10 people. Tell them if you like it or not. It doesn't work. You might have a great idea, which you kind of, your mother and your brother really think that my sister or my brother is an amazing filmmaker. Nobody else thinks so. So, this actually, it's the touchstone of reality. Thanks to big studios and big people like this who are making money outside, they have discovered that, you know what, thanks to the multiplexes, people are going to watch the other films also. No charity here. And that's fantastic because in terms of, see, the patronage of the state is gone. The NFDC again, coming back to that is gone. They're still trying to make films which are not relevant, which were based somewhere out of East European cinema. Somebody was just holding shots. Because I've seen it before, it's so villainous. It's like, it's not working. Now filmmakers, including you, are making films which people are going to watch. And therefore people like he are interested in you. Because he's going to fund that film for 200 crores and he's ready to fund you for maybe 1 crore. But you have got a script and a story which you want to tell in 1 crore or 50 lakhs. As Ravi is saying, Ravi's films, he's not making for 6 crores and 10 crores and 12 crores. He's making that money with a budget of 50 lakhs and 1 crore. Because the stories, they have been told in that way. It's been set up in that way. It's been shot in that way. Actors have been paid in that way. So I think it's actually this period is of a level playing field. Actors like us, like I kind of work in commercial mainstream cinema, I'm continuously looking for interesting parts. So I have a part of me which runs my budget, which I do my commercial films. And there are other parts where I hunt people like Nitin, tell me, what's happening here? I mean, Ravi, is something happening or not? And then there are afternoons when your heart is broken when Nitin says, no sir, next film mein aapke liye role nahi hai. So next because at one point, and that is the creativity of an artist. You are an artist and all of us are artists. That here we get that we are going to do something that drives our passion. And this is something which I just want to share with you. I have felt years back that I am responsible towards my family. I need to take care of my family. Clear about it. I don't want somebody to say that, like this good actor, poor family. No, why, please. They're going to be taken care of. At the same time, I'm very passionate about the work, like each one of us is. So it's that tightrope walk that we walk, which is it's a very solo walk, where we are doing things to earn and take care of things, and if we have the passion alive, we'll do some amazing work. So we walk up to people like anybody and say, hey, listen, do you have a role for me? And really, no money, sir. You don't need the money. Give me an amazing role. And it's a bit like Bill Gates. He earns money and then tries to give away money with the right hand. And that's the tightrope that each one of us has to walk, to try and do something amazingly passionate and to make it viable, whichever way. Because this is not a world in which some Raja is going to take care of you. Take care, yaar, tum jo bhi karo, main tumhara till life, till grave, tumhara khayal rakhunga. Nothing's going to happen. Welcome to the real world. You got to build it. Like I tell people, they try signing your EMI with a passion. HDFC Bank, I want to pay Citibank with PASSION. So it's bounced. So it's got to put money there. So I think.
NFDC, one good job that they did for the last 1 year is whatever movies that they have produced themselves, all of them are available on home video.
Yes.
That's a phenomenal job.
The question about the rural-urban.
Rural-urban, yes, it was there in Bengal, it's true. It was there. There was a void. Post Uttam Kumar, there was a void. Okay. And the war was too large. These movies were watched by everywhere, rural, urban, kidhar. Post his death, there wasn't anything. There was a huge void. That void basically created 2 kinds of films. One is called art film, the other is called mainstream commercial. For the last 1 decade or two, I think 2010, when Autograph came out. That started the thing called, there's nothing called art film anymore.
starting
It's
of
urban
warm
film
connection.
and also the invent of multiplexes. So there was urban film and mainstream commercial. It's still there. Is Jatishwar with all these things, Chokeshwar with all their glories, would not cross the 20-foot mark.
Urban cinema is actually making hay and making all the noise, and that's why we are saying that we are making good films, because that's the cinema. But
That's a worldwide phenomenon.
Can you very frankly, we do 2 or 3 commercial Bengali films in a year. We do about 2-3 urban
In fact, for a film like Jatishwar, I would expect that it would bridge the gap.
films.
we are
It was a
trying to-
commercial loss.
we are trying to.
But we will be trying and we will be doing it continuously. Because one day it has to bridge the gap. You know, अच्छे दिन आएगा.
As I always keep on saying, is that somebody who's been exposed to hand bhat, you know what I mean, all throughout, and not exposed to biryani, doesn't know what biryani tastes. So we have to
You have to be on
keep
both
on
the
with
sides.
that.
You have to be both the
better
sides.
films, better films, and better films, and then create the taste of watching good cinema.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the panelists for a very rich discussion. Could we have a round of applause?
Thank you for being here, all of you. Really